Hey everybody, the Rookie here, and welcome to Baldurs Gate Enhanced Edition with the Siege of Dragonspear DLC. I'm going to start a new series on this one since they just released the Dragonspear storyline. I will be starting at the very beginning of the original Baldurs Gate game though, because I have not played this game in a very long time. So instead of bumbling around like an idiot at high levels getting killed, I plan to bumble around like an idiot at low levels getting killed and hopefully learn what I'm doing before we get to the high levels. So it'll be a fresh start right from the very start of the Baldur's Gate saga. And we will take our character and his party members from the start all the way through to the end. So with that, this first episode will be mostly character creation and then maybe trying to get ourselves out of the initial area if we have time at the end of the episode. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and start the character creation. Going to start a new game. We'll be a male character. I kind of already have an idea of what I want to be. So we are going to be a Paladin. That is my favorite class, hence the name of the YouTube channel. I normally take a Paladin every time I can, because I really like how the class plays. Just looking through the portraits here. I think really the only one that kind of fits... maybe this one. Not that one, that was an orc. I think we'll go with this one. Kind of noblish, got the nice armor that you would expect a paladin to wear here. Some chainmail underneath, so we'll go ahead and use that one. There's our guy. Race, we are going to be a human. And class, like I said, we're going with the Paladin class. Go ahead over there, and now we get to pick kind of a class kit, or I call them subclasses, so whatever you prefer. So we can just go with the straight up Paladin class. Nothing special about it, you just get all the bonuses that any Paladin will get. Or you have a Cavalier, who kind of... specializes in killing evil monsters and dragons and the such. So with that, you get all the stuff that the paladins usually get, but you also will get +3 bonus to hit and damage rolls against fiendish and draconic creatures, which is always nice if you happen to face them. May cast Remove Fear once per day. That is also fantastic. It just kind of helps keep your party in the fight. This is really awesome. I like this one, which is immune to charm, fear, poison, and morale failures. That's nice. So the lessens the effects of crowd control from enemy wizards and such. And then 20% resistance to fire and acid. Again, that's more along the lines of fighting the dragons. So when they breathe fire on you, you don't take as much damage. And they do have a kind of a disadvantage, as it says right down here. They may not use any missile weapons, so they are a pure melee class. It kind of goes back to a Cavalier, like a French knight back in the medieval times, where ranged combat was kind of seen as dishonorable. So you wanted to, if you wanted to face your opponent, you wanted them up close and personal. So that's kind of what they embody right there. Another of the subclasses is the Inquisitor. So this guy specializes in basically killing mages and kind of anybody who uses magic. So the added advantages that the Inquisitor gets are he may cast Dispel once per day, gain 1 use at level 1, and an additional use at every 4 levels. So he does get a Dispel magic. Originally, at the start, you can use it once per day, but then as you level up every 4 levels, you get another use, so that comes in very handy just to help negate some of the effects that mages can throw on you. He may cast True Sight once per day. And he is immune to Hold and Charm, which again, this is really nice, the immune to Hold and Charm for combating mages and spellcasters, because they will try and throw these on you. Charm especially, because if he charms your character will start to fight for the enemy, killing your own guys, which is never a good thing, especially if you have a really strong character. So that is nice to have. He does have a few disadvantages. So these are things that kind of get taken away. So he can't turn undead like other paladins. That ability is gone. He cannot use Lay on Hands, which is heal ability, so that one is gone. And he may not cast any pre-spells. So He does gain some very powerful tools to fight mages, but he also does lose a lot of utility with the loss of all these abilities. And you go the Undead Hunter. That's just kind of exactly what it sounds like. He specializes in fighting undead creatures. So the advantages are he gets a +3 to hit and damage against undead creatures, and he is immune to hold and level drain. And level drain is nice because when you start fighting your higher level undead creatures, they will do this. I can't remember the name of the creature that does it though, but they have a chance when they do a certain ability that they will level drain you. So if they do, and say your character was level 6 at the time, they will drain it down to say like a level 4. And then so you lose your hit points and any kind of advantages you gained from being level 6, and it kind of drops your character down to level 4, which really sucks. And the disadvantages to the Undead Hunter, he may not use Lay on Hands ability, so again, it just to get these advantages is kind of taking away a little bit of utility, not as much as the Inquisitor, but it does take away your Lay on Hands, which is a nice heal ability, especially early in the game if you when you don't have a priest or anything to kind of help keep your party up. He will still have heal abilities through his priest spells, but the Lay on Hands is just nice because it's not an actual spell. It's more of a few times. I think it's once per day. So it's not a spell. It's more of an ability. And then there is the Blackguard, and this is kind of a Blackguard is an evil paladin or a fallen paladin, however you want to describe it. So paladins kind of embody everything good. Blackguard embody everything evil. So they're just kind of the evil version of a paladin. Some of the advantages, you're immune to level drain and fear. That is nice. For the same reasons as I explained above. You may turn undead as a paladin of the same level, so you still get the turn undead ability, which is really nice. You may use the absorb health ability, which is kind of self-explanatory. So when you use it, say you hit an enemy character for 10 damage, you will absorb that health and kind of heal yourself for 10. So it is a nice ability to have. Now there, explains it right there. Deals 2 points of damage per level to enemy, healing the Blackguard for the same amount of hit points. So, yep. And he may use poison weapons. Which, right down here, kind of gives an explanation of what it is. So each successful hit within the next 5 rounds will inject poison into the target. Each target can only be affected once per round. The amount of poison damage depends on the character's level. And then it just kind of goes through the damage. So at first level, they suffer 1 poison damage per second for 6 seconds. And it just kind of goes up as you level up, yada, 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 yada. Getting stronger as you get stronger, as you would expect. And at level 3, they gain the Aura of Despair ability. And there it kind of explains what the Aura of Despair is. When this ability is activated, all enemies within 30 feet of the Blackguard suffer ill effects based on the Blackguard's level. So they get a -1 penalty to hit and damage rolls, and a -2 penalty to armor class for 1 turn. And then it just, as you level up, it goes from 1 to 2, then to 4. So it just gets stronger as you go up. So that's the advantages of the Blackguard. It kind of, it really does like completely rework the Paladin class, which is really interesting. I have played one of these before, and it was very interesting and a little bit fun just for a change. Because like I said, I normally play a Paladin. So it was nice to kind of go to the other side of the coin and play an evil character for a change. Disadvantages, your alignment is restricted to evil, so you can't be anything but evil. Which is fine. If you're planning on playing a Blackguard, you have evil things in mind anyway, so it shouldn't really bother you too much. May not cast Detect Evil. That's not a big one. I don't really use that one. I probably should a little bit more, but I don't really use it very often. May not cast Protection from Evil. That's because you are evil, so there you go. And you may not use the Lay on Hands ability, so again, your heal ability is gone. So there's the class kits, or the subclasses that a Paladin can get. I think for this playthrough, I'm going to go for the classic Cavalier. So we are going to be like I said, a chivalrous medieval kind of a knight. So we will kind of specialize in killing demons and evil monsters and dragons and stuff. And I will be using this character as the main tank in my party, so with that in mind, a Cavalier is a good choice because he will never get charmed, feared, poisoned, and never have morale failure, which is fantastic. So he should, at least for the most part, barring like hold and stuff like that, he will be in the fight for the most part. We'll go for alignment. There's only one alignment we can pick as a Paladin, and it's always lawful good unless you are a Blackguard, and then you are evil. So we'll have to pick lawful good. Abilities, we got an 81 total roll. That's not bad. We're going to store that. We're just going to re-roll a couple times. 84 is better, and just see if we can't get up a little bit higher than 84. 88, that's a pretty good one. I do like that. So with this, you're kind of just doing a random roll of the dice, and you just want your total number, you want that as high as you can get. So when you find a nice one, you just hit store, and you can try it a couple more times. If you can't seem to be able to get a higher one, you can always just hit the recall button, and it brings back the one you stored. So I'm just going to do this for a little bit. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. So we're looking for anything higher than 88. That's what we're at right now. 86, that was close. Make sure it is 88. Oh, I just messed up. I wanted to hit recall and not store. I wonder if I can get back to 88 or not. So we're at 82, 85, that one's pretty good. 87, perfect. 84, and 87. I don't think I'm going to get back to 88. I have to pay for my mess up. That's alright. Couple more times. 86. Alright, so we'll just go with the 87. That is fine. So with a Paladin, and the role I'm going to have him play, as always, Paladins, just because of their... a lot of the Paladin abilities are based off of Charisma. You want a high Charisma. I'm using my guy as a main tank, so I also want to give him a very high Constitution, more health. And I want a decent amount of strength, just so he's going to be wearing the heaviest armor that I can possibly put on him. And then it also just kind of helps with the damage that he does. And you also want a reasonably high Wisdom, just for the pre-spells that he casts. It's not as important as Charisma, but it is still fairly important for Paladins. So we're going to drop Intelligence by a few points. And we'll go with a 15 Wisdom. Constitution, we'll drop one. Dexterity, yeah, we just want to get a few more points. That's not bad, that's pretty good overall. Just wondering if I want to drop my Dexterity a few more, just to give myself a little bit more strength. Choices. You know what, we're going to drop our Intelligence a couple more. And give ourselves a bit more strength. So we'll go down to 7. We'll go to... Oops, don't want Wisdom down. Oh, I didn't know that. So if you just read over here, a character with an intelligence of score of 8 or less is illiterate and cannot use scrolls and most runs regardless of his class. I think I'll be okay with that, because I'm not really going to be using scrolls with my Paladin anyway. He's kind of going to be a frontline tank, kind of taking shots to the head while his party members do all the spell casting in behind. So we're going to roll with it. Hopefully it doesn't come around to bite us in the butt later on, but I guess we'll figure that out. And I want to give him 18 Constitution. So we have very high Constitution, which is gives us our health pool. And we have a very high Charisma, which gives us a really good modifier for our Paladin abilities. So that's a pretty good build. We'll run with that one. Like I said, hopefully that Intelligence at 6 doesn't come back to bite us in the butt. Apparently we can't read. I guess you don't have to be smart to be a Paladin, right? Now, proficiencies. I like to roll, it's kind of my standard, is some kind of a sword, so a bastard sword or a long sword. I think I'm going to go with long sword. It is I believe this is a one-handed weapon in this game. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. So we're going to go the maximum 2 points into longsword. And then, because we're going to be the main tank, we also want to put 2 points into sword and shield style. So it would give us a little bit more proficiency in our weapon and blocking abilities. And appearance, kind of how do we want to appear it? There's no randomizer, so we kind of got to do it ourselves. Our hair color, we're going to go with some dark hair, I think. Skin color, I don't know. We are outside a bit, so we'll go for like a tanned look, I guess. Kind of like this. There we go. I can go pink. Nah, looks weird. Yeah, that one's pretty good. We'll go with that one. Clothing. What do we want to do for clothing? What looks good? That's kind of a grayish. That doesn't look too bad. Do we have kind of a gold color? I think that's over here. I think that one right there is kind of a goldish color. I think I want my prime or my major color a little bit darker. So we'll go over to kind of the blacks and the darker grays over here. That looks good enough. Now for a voice, we'll go ahead and see, because there are some new ones added with this DLC, so I got to see what they sound like, so we'll go ahead and test them all.
Death to you all! Your life ends here.
So that was Earnest, and the first one was Impatient. Just because these texts are kind of small, so just in case you can't read the one I'm on. This is Streetwise.
Time for a bit of the rough and tumble.
That one sounds okay, because we are, kind of a dense character, so that wouldn't be too bad.
You got this coming!
Yeah, that was aggressive, not the greatest, but still not bad. Scholarly.
Let's give them a right thrashing.
No, that just sounds weird.
Get over here.
That one's not bad. That was Brute. Then there's Commanding.
Feel my power.
Ah, that one was pretty good. So far, it's Commanding and Streetwise are the kind of the ones I like the most.
For justice.
I don't like that one at all. That was Juvenile. Or Jovial. Sorry, Jovial, not Juvenile. Yeah. So it's between Commanding...
Feel my power. Do as I say, and I'll see you through the trials that await.
Or Streetwise.
Time for a bit of the rough and tumble.
Ha ha! I'll lead 'em well. I'll need to be resting soon.
I think we're going to go with Streetwise. Commanding just sounds, a little too brainy, a little too smart for our character.
Feel my power.
Yeah, Streetwise kind of what we go for.
Time for a bit of the rough and tumble.
Not completely brain dead, but, definitely taking a few shots to the head with the Streetwise one. So we'll go ahead with that one. And name, there is only one name for one of my paladins. Whoop. Get a little box here. And that is Talo. The mighty Talo is born once more. So there's our character for the start of this game. So his name is Talo. He is a human, male. He is a Paladin with the Cavalier subclass. He is lawful good. 16 strength, 14 dexterity, 18 constitution, 6 intelligence, 15 wisdom, and 18 charisma. He has proficiency in longsword and sword and shield style. So that's the character we're going to be running with. To start this, our little adventure off, we'll go ahead and accept. And what do we want to do here? I think we'll do core rules. I don't want to do hard or insane yet, because like I said, I haven't played this game in a very long time. I haven't actually played a D&D game in a little while. So I don't want to go too hardcore, because I will probably fail miserably. So this kind of just kind of like a across the board difficulty level. So if I went normal, just in case, because again the lettering is really small, I even have the font size increased, but I'll kind of go over them just so you can get the options. So with story mode, the party gains all the benefits of easy difficulty and they cannot die in combat. So that's just if you're in it for the story. So you don't really want to spend too much time, fighting and micromanaging and stuff like that. You just want to go through, listen to the story, get the lore that's behind the game. You go with that one. With easy, your party gains +6 to luck, Enemies are fewer, use only their weakest spells and items, and deal 50% damage. Party members cannot permanently die, hit point rolls are maximized, and spells can be copied into spellbooks without failure. So that does make it pretty easy. Normal, so enemies deal 25% less damage, and do not use their most powerful spells and items. Party members cannot die permanently, hit point rolls are maximized, and spells can be copied into spellbooks without failure. Then core rules. The setting is aimed at veteran players who are well versed in AD&D mechanics. Enemies deal full damage and employ advanced combat tactics. Slightly stronger enemy types appear, and enemy groups are more varied. And there is hard. Enemies are more numerous, employ advanced combat tactics, and deal 50% more damage. Stronger enemy types appear, and enemy groups are more varied. Then we have insane. Enemies are much more numerous and deal 100% more damage. Significantly stronger enemy types appear, and enemy groups are even more varied. Enemies fight to the best of their abilities and employ advanced combat tactics. And then if you're really crazy or like a real challenge, then there's the Legacy of Baal. Enemies have all the benefits of insane difficulty, as well as significantly more hit points, improved armor saves, and saving throws, and more attacks per round. Warning, Legacy of Baal can only be selected at the start of the game, and once selected, cannot be changed. So that one's pretty intense. So like I said, I think we're just going to go for the core rules. Enemies do full damage. We will run into some stronger types of enemies, not all, but they also will use their full range of spells and abilities and tactics. So it'll kind of give us a good all-around fight as we go through the game. We will go ahead and venture forth.
Nestled atop the cliffs that rise from the Sword Coast, the citadel of Candlekeep houses the finest and most comprehensive collection of writings on the face of Farron. It is an imposing fortress, kept in strict isolation from the intrigues that occasionally plague the rest of the Forgotten Realms. It is secluded, highly regimented, and it is home. Within these hallowed halls of knowledge, your story begins. You have spent most of your 20 years of life within this keep's austere walls, under the tutelage of the sage Gorion. Acting as your father, he has raised you on 1,000 tales of heroes and monsters, lovers and infidels, battles and tragedies. However, one story was always left untold, that of your true heritage. You have been told that you are an orphan, but your past is largely unknown. Lately, Gorion has been growing distant from you, as if some grave matter weighs heavily on his heart. You have asked about his concerns as gently as possible, but your queries have been in vain. Your sole comfort is the knowledge that he is a wise man, and you know he will tell you when the time is right. Nonetheless, his silence is troubling, and you cannot help but feel that something is terribly wrong. Today, Gorion has appeared more agitated than ever, and now he has uncharacteristically interrupted your chores in the middle of the day. Imparting hurried instructions for you to equip yourself for travel, he has handed you what gold he can spare, but given no clue as to why. Nevertheless, you now stand before the Candlekeep Inn, ready to purchase what you need for an unplanned and unexpected journey.
All right. So here we are. All done and ready to go.
Of course, a simple task.
All right, so I'm going to end the episode here. I don't really have enough time left in this episode to do anything too important as we go through, so I'm just going to end it right here. In the next episode, we will start our adventure, gather what we need, and leave Candlekeep for the wide open road and whatever lays ahead of us. So thank you everybody for watching. If you liked the video, please hit that like button at the bottom. It'll help me out a little bit with just getting me a little more time with my my video. So I'll see you again in the next one.